Hey guys, hey. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to episode 12. Is it two or two here or like a one or a two, whatever? Episode 12 of Straight Outta Content Podcast. Some changes have happened in a positive way, not in a negative way, nothing bad. A2D is not going away. You can still call it Agree to Disagree podcast, but we've kind of decided to consolidate everything. So I have Carl's Garage, I have Agree to Disagree, I have Car Nutrition. Those are just three other YouTubes and stuff like that I have False. And I'm still gonna make False. That's a clothing line that I'm really passionate about, but everything will be under Straight Outta Content. So moving forward, this podcast will be called the Straight Outta Content Podcast. I'm keeping it as number 12. I'm just changing the name. You can still call it A2D. You still call it Agree to Disagree, but we decided to, let's just keep everything in-house, one name. This way it's not so confusing. I'll still do, whenever I do Carl's Garage and teach you about cars, I was posting it to my other YouTube channel. Maybe once Straight Outta Content blows up and it gets really big, then I will kind of send videos over there. I still do periodically if I do a car video, but I'm just going to continue just to push just one. I kind of was getting spread a little thin there. So again, if this is your first time tuning in, thank you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And for everybody who's got my subscribers over 100, I'm pushing 200. My numbers are going up every day, steadily. Every day I get a couple new subscribers and it's just continue to go up. So so thank you. Thank you to all the people. Donovan's Domain, Straight Outta Content, False. George, thank you to you, a home team. We got some new stuff right here. Just continue to make stuff. Thank you to Flash Custom Designs for making everything that you see here. Yeah, and we're just gonna continue to grow. That's what we do every day. Just continue to grow. As you see here, got some new merch. I'm always going to try to wear new merch every week. This is in honor of my grandfather, James Boxley, up there, upstate New York. Give a big shout out to my family, the Boxleys, Uncle Stephen, Aunt Michelle, Christian, Autumn, Uncle Michael, Robin, my mother, Nana Pearl. Love you. We miss you. You know, Papa Jim, hopefully Uncle Steven shows you this. Hopefully Uncle Steven shows you this, man. We got the retro logo. Uncle Steven, let us make the retro logo for you, man. Let us do it, man. Let us bring it back, man. Let us put it on some towels or whatever you need it on, man. We can do it here in house. But no, my brother Edwin, he was really begging me for this. Not begging me, but he was like, man, that's the logo I want. The Boxley's Polishing Services, because the new logo doesn't say Polishing Services. It just says Services because Boxley's does an immense amount of services. I mean, if you have any type of service that you need, from security to cleaning to home to office, the Boxleys can do it. They can just do anything. So I'll leave a link to the description of Boxleys. It's really just boxleys.com. I'll leave that link down below. Also, I'll leave their Instagram as well. If you're in the upstate New York area, they're the company to go to. So let's go ahead and move on into what's going on in boxing, because this week, as of, what is today? Today is Sunday, August 9th, and there's been a lot of stuff kind of going on. There's a lot of stuff here and there going on as in regards to boxing. And again, I will talk about boxing as much as I can, but I might also throw in some other things. That's the reason why we're moving to the Straight Outta Content podcast. So this way I can kind of broaden my horizon and talk about other things as well. But I will always stick to boxing because that's what I know. That's kind of my love, boxing and cars. All right. But so first topic today, Floyd Mayweather training Tank. It's getting serious. Again, I've yet to see anybody else training Tank, which is kind of weird because you've seen Tank and Floyd train in the past, but then they kind of always break away and then Tank goes over to Baltimore. Tank goes over to Baltimore, he trains in Baltimore, and then, he kind of tightens up his game, the last week right before the fight in Vegas, and then he fights, or in California, or even, but Actually, whenever he fought in Baltimore, he never even trained in Vegas. So I'm happy to see that their fight isn't even till October. And you have Tank training in August. He technically was training in late July. So and the reason why I think he has to train so much and so early is because he's not fighting at 135. Yet his 135 belt is on the line. Don't get that misconstrued. Yes, I said that right. Leo Santa Cruz has an opportunity to not only beat the lineal champion at 135, you can say Lomachenko, we'll get into that subject later, to beat the lineal champion at 135. He has the opportunity to do that, but he has the opportunity to stay at 130 for his 130-pound belt and still win a belt in a higher weight class. I mean, Leo Santa Cruz has everything to gain in this fight. Tank Davis has everything to lose in this fight. And I really love to see that Floyd is basically saying this might be like the Diego Corrales fight for Tank Davis. I think that's how Floyd might be looking at it. He's not yet to the De La Hoya fight, which I think the De La Hoya fight is probably the Lomachenko fight. You could say Ryan Garcia, but Ryan Garcia isn't up there yet. So I think the Lomachenko fight might be I think the Lomachenko fight, will be the De La Hoya fight for Tank, if it happens. If nobody else beats him, I think that'll be the fight at 135 for Tank, which is a great opportunity. But it's great to see Floyd right there. What kind of confused me a little bit was we just saw Floyd training, what's the kid's name? Devin Haney. And then now we don't see him training Devin Haney anymore. We see him training Tank. So I wonder, is there rifts going on? Because you see articles and you see video of Devin Haney saying he wants to fight Tank. So it's like, and he's with DAZN. He's not with Floyd Mayweather, yet he was training with Floyd Mayweather, and Tank is Floyd Mayweather's number one fighter on his roster. So it's just, I'm not going to say it's confusing. It's just confusing to see Floyd training these two guys, and these two guys are competitors. So I don't know. I don't know. I hope it doesn't put a sour taste in either one of their mouths. I hope Devin Haney doesn't get upset at Floyd, and I hope Tank doesn't get upset at Floyd. Obviously, he's not, because he came after. But I forgot the kid that Tank is training with. I'm looking up here for the video. Yeah, see, I got Tank training with Floyd right here. And then I got Devin Haney. Devin Haney has a new, I forgot the kid's name. I always forget his name, but he has somebody else in his corner. Oh, here we go. Mickey Bay. Mickey Bay trains Devin Haney, explains why Gervonta Davis is dangerous. So, and that's another thing I didn't see. I haven't seen Devin Haney's father. So I don't know. There's a lot of things going on in that whole Mayweather camp and stuff like that, but it's great. I mean, these guys are really pushing themselves in this off time, and that's what we want to see. We want to see our favorite athletes really pushing themselves. And it's great to see Floyd, who I think wants to fill his Uncle Roger's shoes. That's my real true opinion. I think Floyd really I think he really sees himself in Devin. I think he really sees a lot of himself in Tank. And he tried that with Broner. Broner decided to take his own route. I think that, and that's fine. He decided to take his own route. He has a new fight coming up. More power to him. I'm sure he's still down with the camp, but I think Floyd really has a different relationship with Devin Haney and Tank, and he's going to really take them to the next level. And hopefully they beat all of his records. So that's that. Let's move on to, you know what? Do we have any sponsors this week? Huh? My camera woman? Huh? We ain't got 25 seconds left in that segment. We ain't got no sponsors this week. Do we got any sponsors? Or, you know what? Boxley's. My Uncle Steven. Yeah, my Uncle Steven. You're a sponsor in this video, Uncle Steven. Appreciate that. Thank you. Then this thing keeps coming up. But so another big fight that's coming that's coming up in September. So you guys want to make sure you got the Mike Tyson. See, they're messing up in the back. They're messing up in the back. You got the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fight coming up. You guys already know my opinion on that. To me, it's not fair, and I don't want to see Roy Jones Jr. die. But the bigger fight, the more important fight, is the two Charlo brothers are fighting. And I seen a close interview, or I seen a few new interviews with Jermell talking about Rosario, and he was riding his bike, because I follow his YouTube channel. Make sure you follow his YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description down below. He went on a big bike ride, went to a bike shop, and he was telling the guy, the owner of the shop, about that this fight is basically to be the undisputed 154-pound champion, which to me is a great opportunity for Jermell. He's definitely busted his ass, and he's earned it. It looks like that he's definitely taking this fight serious, because let me tell you something, they'll rob him just like they did his last fight against Tony Harrison. You know, he's a lot different and more outspoken than his brother. And people, unfortunately, like to see people fail. I mean, it's just the way that it is. People like to see, raise you up like they did with Broner, just so they can pull you down and then smash on you. And I think that's what's going to happen, or could happen, and technically already has happened with the Tony Harrison fight, and why he has one loss on his record. So it's good to see him, really promoting his brand and really growing his YouTube channel and stuff like that. I just hope that it's not any distractions. I kind of touched on this in my last podcast, I think episode 10, I kind of touched on it, but it's good to see, a couple weeks later, that he's really pumping hard and training hard. That, I don't want to see him lose or have a really close fight and then the judges rob him. I don't even know where it's at, but oh, my glove. Yeah, go ahead, get my glove. Hold on, let's see. I can cut all this part out. Thank you. Right, we can edit all this out. But this fight's gonna be very unique, because there's not gonna be a crowd. And if there is gonna be a crowd, it's not gonna be too many people. So he's fighting on a whole new platform, and he's fighting a killer. And if this fight goes the distance, depending on, because I don't see this guy I don't see either one of them, they're both coming for everything. I mean, if this guy wins, he is basically the undisputed 154-pound, super welterweight champion, and vice versa for Jermell as well. So if this fight goes the distance, it's going to be one of those toss-up fights. I don't see either one of them knocking each other out. Anything can happen, the puncher's chance. I don't see either one of them knocking each other out. I'm leaning towards Jermell. This fight is just like the Tank Davis versus Lopez fight. I am leaning towards Tank, but if you count out Leo Santa Cruz, you're crazy. Like nobody, not even Leonard Ellerbe, not even Floyd. That's the reason why he's staying on Tank, because you can't count this guy out. Like, you're nuts if you count this guy out, if you think you're going to go in there and smash on Leo Santa Cruz. Now, you might get lucky and catch him with a great couple clean shots. We seen Pacquiao do that against Ricky Hatton. He went in there and clipped him, put him out. But for the most part, we don't think that, either one, that Rosario can smash on, Jermell, and vice versa. So I'm still pushing for Jermell. His hometown, his home team right here in Houston. I think he can pull it off. I'm not looking past this fight, but I'm like, if he does get this fight, who else does he fight? That's my question. Who else does he fight at 154? Leave a comment down below on who you think Jermell, if he wins, who do you think Jermell should fight next, or should he move up? Should he move up? Because that's, I don't see Canelo fighting his brother at all. I don't see Canelo fighting his brother. And his brother has a crazy fight too, but I haven't seen much of his brother's training and stuff like that. I'm assuming he's just really just grinding it out. He's never really had too many issues. He trucks almost everybody who he fights. Jamal trucks. He just, his name Big Charlo on Instagram. I mean, everybody who he gets in the ring with, he trucks. So good luck to those guys. He trucks everybody, and he makes people like Canelo, who I'll move on into my next segment, make people like Canelo. I'm not gonna say duck. I've seen Canelo in person. I'm not gonna say duck. I think that Canelo is running the boxing business right now. I even see him pulling away from DAZN because DAZN isn't doing too well. So I'm not gonna say he's ducking him. I think he's saving Jamal Big Charlo for last. But I posted a video, a clip, just an update, because here at Straight Outta Content, our job is to, how much time am I looking at? What's my time limit right now? 15, perfect. Our job here at Straight Outta Content, and this right here, this is called Fighters Don't Duck segment. Fighters Don't Duck. Let's put that in there. Look, I posted a video on the Lomachenko versus Lopez fight, right? And it was giving a true update. So this is kind of a two-part segment, okay? You got people out there who continue to post clickbait. And as a content creator and somebody who gives news out, I only give news on my credibility. Like I take the Straight Outta Content brand, I take the Agree to Disagree brand, and I take it very serious. I'm not here to just post stuff of basically what everybody else already said and then add my little spin to it. That's not what you're supposed to do. That's not the right thing to do. And I'll give you a prime example. And I'll even call out names. You got people like Dante's Boxing Nation, who's not even in the United States anymore. He already left, and you post a video the other day saying, breaking news, Teofimo Lopez agrees to terms for Lomachenko fight. That's not true in any way, shape, or form. That's not true. And then even in the video, you said you quoted Bob Arum. That's not true. I'm here at Bob Arum rarely gives interviews. And if he does, ESPN is going to be one of the first people that he does interviews with. I'm here. I have the ESPN boxing page up right now. Top headlines. Porter's return. Linares test positive. By the way, that's another thing I'll touch on because COVID is very serious. Harper holds WBC title after first defense. Heavyweight. Lomachenko Lopez clash in jeopardy over money. That's the last article on ESPN that talks about the Lopez-Lomachenko fight. If I go over here to Fight Hype, check my computer, nothing on Fight Hype. Fight Hype is next to ESPN, ES News, Fight Hype is also right there as far as the top premier boxing and MMA sometimes news outlets. Nothing on here says that fight was confirmed. If I go to Boxing Scene, nothing on here says that fight was confirmed. Boxing Scene is another great website. So ESPN, Fight Hype, BoxingScene.com, and ES News, it's not reported anywhere, yet you post a video which got you 30,000 views, but it's clickbait. It's not true. You're not even here. You run a video of somebody sparring and you put up a thumbnail, but then you put breaking news. It's not, as the Trump administration says, this is real fake news. And I'm going to call it out. Anytime I see it, I'm going to call it. This is a sport I love. I am boxing. This is a sport that's near and dear. These gloves are for my child whose name is after boxing. I take this very serious. I take this content creation thing serious, and I take this whole business serious. And when you guys, Dante's Boxing Nation, the Blue Blood Sports, you guys are you're getting paid. You have, how many subscribers do you have? Oh, I won't even play that. I won't even play it. I don't want it. I don't want any time played on my video. You have 268,000 subscribers, which means basically you're living off of YouTube. You don't have to move. You can live anywhere in the world, and your YouTube money is going to continue to come in. But what you're doing is you're lying to 30,000 people. 30,387 people saw this video, and some of them might not know. There might be kids, but you just lied, period. So now that creates a whole different narrative that these fighters have to live with, because you got people under my video that I posted, which was the truth. You got people under and what's crazy is you posted a video telling the truth of the fight breaking down. Then you post a video saying that the fight is back on, and that's not true. For whatever reason that it's not back on, that's fine. But don't lie. Don't post a video lying. You could post a tweet. You could post an Instagram post. But when you post a video just for because you're doing it for monetary gain. You're doing it for monetary gain. That's sad. Now you're not doing it for the sport. I do this for the sport. And if the channel grows, it grows. Straight Outta Content is a host for all content, boxing content, car content, clothing content, travel content, you name it, it's a host for all types of content. If you make content out there and you want your content on a platform that, so that it'll actually be seen on, because you go to post it on YouTube, you don't get any views. You go to post it on Instagram or any other platform, you don't get any views. Well, as we grow and we host your content, you will be seen. And especially once the website is up, you will be seen. And once you get seen, that's great. That's great for your company. But, when you leave comments under my video like Lopez is ducking Lomachenko, that's insanity. And this guy has to live with that. He has to live with that because fake news YouTubers are out here posting all this untruthful stuff just for clickbait and money. And I'm calling it out. And I hope YouTube sees this and starts to really look into this, because you can't do that. These guys really have families and stuff like that. On either side, I'm not picking either side. I'm not saying who's ducking who or not. I don't think that Lopez is ducking Lomachenko. I had somebody say that Mikey Garcia on my page, that Mikey Garcia ducked Lomachenko. How on God's green earth can Mikey Garcia duck Lomachenko, a little 5'2", 135 pound guy, and go all the way up 2 weight classes and fight the killer monster Errol Spence in his prime? Pacquiao wouldn't even fight Errol Spence. Mikey Garcia went up 2 weight classes to fight Errol Spence in his hometown of Dallas. You're not ducking nobody if you're doing that. Nobody at all, in any way, shape, or form. Period. If he can do that, he would smack. There's a reason why Lomachenko gave up his belt and became the franchise champion, which has never been done in boxing history up until him. To avoid Devin Haney, because Devin Haney became the champ and became the first in line to fight Lomachenko, Bob Arum said, nope, not doing it. Go ahead, gonna franchise him. Go ahead, let's go. We'll just make him a different type of champion. He's not gonna fight Devin Haney because he's a threat, because he's a serious threat. So not Devin Haney, not Mikey Garcia, not Tank Davis, not Teofimo Lopez, not Leo Santa Cruz, not Carl Frampton. I mean, who is he going to fight? Who's he going to fight? I'm sick of hearing people say that people are ducking Lomo, people are ducking Lomo, people are ducking. You're not ducking nobody. If anybody's ducking, he's avoiding all of these other champions around him and fighting Bob Arum flunkies. Yeah, I said it. Fighting Bob Arum flunkies. This shit pisses me off. Every time I go on YouTube and try to post something positive, you got these idiots out here who are just looking for money grabs. If you're in this business for money grabs, get out, because I'm coming. And I'm not going to stop growing. My business is going to continue to grow, and I'm going to be right here filming all of these guys right here in Houston, and then soon all the other cities around. I'm right here in Houston. Hopefully soon I'm filming Jermell Charlo. Hopefully soon I'm filming Jamal Charlo. And filming these guys. They all got homes right around here, right over here. I'm not too far. I'm right there in the medical center. These guys are 20 minutes away from me in any direction. You know what I mean? I got people contacting me on Instagram and YouTube, all different types of coaches. And shout out to Donna's Boxing Gym. I'm going to be there soon filming sparring very soon. He told me about, what did he say, 2 months? 2 weeks or 2 months. I'll put a link to the description to them too as well, to their boxing gym, a great boxing gym here in Houston, right? Like North Houston, Northwest Houston. You know what I mean? So I take this very serious. Yeah, I'm going to get pissed off if I see stuff like that. With Blue Blood Sports, I'm calling names. Now I'm saying names, because before 12 episodes, I didn't say anything because I continue to see it. But this stuff has got to stop. You got to stop doing it. You can have your opinion. If you think Lopez is ducking Lomachenko, fine. That's cool. If you think Lomachenko is ducking all the other fighters and is another Bob Arum flunky like myself, then that's your opinion too. That's cool. You know, you're allowed to have your opinion. We can all agree to disagree, but don't put false videos up for clickbait. That's something that we cannot do. So to even, you know what I mean, to even touch in that fight, we don't know who's going to win. We don't know who either fight is. I think that personally, and again, I won't even play devil's advocate. I'll just be blunt honest. Which this is a true fact, you got Teofimo Lopez asking for $1.2 million. To me, if you're fighting Vasily Lomachenko and they offer you $700,000, you take the damn fight. Period. So now we're going to go into this subject, because at Straight Outta Content, there is no bias. In Agree to Disagree Boxing Podcast, there is no bias. It is right and right and wrong and wrong. You have this opportunity to take this fight with Lomachenko on probably ESPN pay-per-view, and it breaks down over money? No. See, this new generation thinks that they're Floyd. I'm sorry, you're not Floyd. And he took less money in a lot of fights. He took less money in a lot of fights. Yeah, he changed the game. It's definitely about business and money. But I can guarantee you, when they offered Adrian Broner whatever to fight Pacquiao, he didn't care. He was fighting Pacquiao because he knew the money that he'd make after if he beat Pacquiao. And it's the same thing with Lomachenko. If you beat Lomachenko, you ask for whatever the hell you want. Point blank, period. And now I'm speaking facts because the article is there. It's all over all the major media outlets. And the quotes are there from both camps. You were offered $1.2 million, and for some reason that's not enough. You got a family to feed. Unfortunately, it's not Top Rank's business to I'm not going to say to feed your family, but what I am going to say is that's not Top Rank's problem. You're a prize fighter. And whenever any of these guys fight, it's not going to be in front of a crowd. So you can't say it's business, but then you don't understand the business. The fight was there. There's no reason that fight should have tanked over money in any way, shape, or form. I can guarantee you Devin Haney would have took that fight for $400,000. I can guarantee you Tank Davis, even though he's bigger, would have probably took that opportunity. At whatever they do. If they offered him that, I guarantee you would have took that opportunity. And these guys have clout. Devin Haney doesn't have as much clout as Teofimo Lopez yet, but he's still a champion. So he has a belt. At least if he goes into a fight with Lomachenko, at least he can say, hey, look, we're about to unify. We're about to really unify, and I got a pretty big name out here. Ryan Garcia, he would take the opportunity too. I can guarantee you that. So I can't hear, all this blame doesn't go on Lomachenko. Not at all. I mean, you're blasting the guy on Instagram, but you won't fight him for $1.2 million? Are you nuts? Especially with everything that's going on. You can get 1.2 now and then fight him again in December and then double your money if you win. And if you lose or the fight is close, you get another 1.2. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get, I'm not going to sit up here and bash Lomachenko and stuff like that. And for how I feel he's ducking other major fighters, I do think that he feels that Lopez is probably out of all the other fighters, I think that he feels Lopez is the least risk. Out of the Devin Haney's, Ryan Garcia is not even on the table. So out of the Devin Haney's, Leo Santa Cruz, Tank Davis, out of all these guys, Mikey Garcia's, I think that, Mikey Garcia will probably never fight another Bob Arum fighter again. He will never fight another top-ranked fighter again, which was smart. He left and he created his own business. He runs his own show, which is great. More power to him. I'm glad that he's over there creating his own show. But, stuff like this can't happen. These types of fights that can be made and break down over money, it just gives a bad taste of boxing. And this is the reason why people don't want to watch it. because you got all these other crazy good fights that are coming out, and this one breaks down over that. So I don't know. I don't know what happens there. Good luck to both of them. Hopefully they do fight. Hopefully the true news does come out and they do decide to, make that fight happen, because in 2020, boxing needs all of the biggest fights that it can get. It cannot afford anymore to have regular schmegular fights, which is what Top Rank has been doing, but at least they've been putting on something. But I can guarantee you they're not making any money. So they need to put on, all of these outlets need to put on the biggest fights ever. You see that the third fight with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury came through. But then again, there's some other things going on back there with Wilder suing Fury and all of this other stuff. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know. They have it. They're by contract obligated to fight each other for a third time. I don't know what happens in the third fight. I think the buildup for the fight is going to be amazing. But I think that Tyson Fury signed the fight deal with Anthony Joshua because he knew he might not be fighting Wilder again. He knew that. I think he's in it for the money at this point. Not that the man can't fight, he can fight his ass off. But after that scandal with the glove, and now everybody's investigating it and looking into it, and it could potentially lead into a lawsuit. I think that whether or not he gets the third fight with Wilder, I don't think he cares, and they're not going to strip him of the belt. Now, that'd be crazy if they did. That'd be one of the first times that a fighter has cheated, got caught cheating, and then they strip him of the belt. But I doubt that it goes that far. I think that something happens with the third fight. I think Wilder ends up fighting somebody else, unless it is 100% for sure. I've seen a few articles, but I'm not going to come on here and concrete say that fight is automatically going through. It's 100% going through. I'm pretty sure that there's still some things going through there, in behind the scenes where Deontay Wilder is like, listen, if we ever do fight again, I'm going to make sure that everything is what it's supposed to be. If he even wants to fight a guy who cheated him. You might not want to fight the guy who cheated you. There just might be too much emotion there. You might want to fight somebody else, get your faculties together, and then come back and fight the guy who cheated you. I don't know. But I just want to touch on that subject. That's an update on the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight. They should fight again, but there's so many things going on because you have the WBC commission and everybody looking into that fight and really studying video now to see if he really cheated. He's saying he didn't with leaving his fist in the bottom of the glove. And today I have the gloves on to show you that. In his left hand, again, I think these are 8 ounce. These are 8 ounce girl gloves for my daughter. But basically, this is how he was fighting. Well, his hand was wrapped, so my hand won't fit in here. But basically, this is how he was fighting. With his hand right here. Again, these aren't official training gloves. The training gloves tie. But his hand was right here, and he was able to flick it, but he was actually punching him with his bare hand. So, we've never seen Wilder beat up like that, bleeding out of his ear and stuff like that. We've never seen that before. Because he wasn't leaking like that in the first fight. And now all of a sudden, in the second fight, he's getting smashed on like that. I don't know. It didn't look right. I've touched on it before, but it didn't look right. So, I don't know. We'll see. Moving on to my next subject. Oh, yeah. The Linares testing positive for COVID. It's not really a big fight, but what COVID is doing right now is I work in a hospital. So I see these cases every single day. I know whenever they're transported, I know what's going on. If you think COVID isn't real, you're bonkers. If you think these people are taking precautions for no reason, you're nuts. I'm telling you, I've seen it every day, from the dead bodies to everything. It's extremely serious. And if these fighters continue to catch COVID and stuff like that, there might have to be some type of like fight island or something like that. Like, unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately, the boxing doesn't have just one umbrella over everybody, kind of making all the rules like the UFC, which kind of forced them out of the country because they weren't able to continue to make fights here in America. So they made their own quarantine place. Boxing doesn't have that luxury, but it does have the freedom to, each promotional company can put on, spend its own money and put on its own fights at its own cost. But fighters can't keep catching this virus. That can't happen. And hopefully he's just one of the few that stops. I mean, that gets it and then nobody else does. Because God forbid, I won't even say any names because I don't want to jinx anybody, but God forbid a major fighter from one of these big fights that are coming up catches it before or tests positive for it after. That's my biggest fear, that they test negative before the fight, then they take the fight, then they take the test after, and then they test positive. Because then you have confusion. And then what happens after that? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So I feel for these fighters because these guys aren't fighting that much. And it's not that they're going to get severance pay. They're not going to get paid unless they fight. And it sucks. This virus is really killing. It's not really killing the sport, but it's not doing it any justice. It's not doing it any positivity or anything out like that. So that's really that. As far as the Linares fight, I don't know. Leave your comments below. There's not really too much other fights going on. You got Errol Spence really training for the Danny Garcia fight. That fight's going to be really good. I just can't with that. That fight's in November, so they still have some time, but it's good to see these guys are in shape. Got Sean Porter, he's about to fight. Got Terrence Crawford, he's over here lifting weights. I seen him deadlift today. They said it was 400-something pounds. I don't think he should be doing that. He's way too small at a 147-pounder to be deadlifting 400-something pounds. I mean, who knows? If I was his trainer, I would not let him do that. Deadlifting, especially, 3 times your weight for a professional fighter is just stupid. The fact that his team is letting him do that is just insane. You have no business doing that. You're going to ruin your whole career with a back injury because you want to show out and lift 400-something pounds. And again, that's not a knock to Terrence. That's a knock to his team because he's a competitor. And you see in the video, the guy before him goes and he goes after him to show that he can do it too. Sometimes you got to pull fighters back. Sometimes you got to, kind of pull them back. Yeah, he's super strong, but sometimes you got to, hey, listen, we're going to kind of tone it down right here. We don't need you having any injuries or anything popping up later. Anything, you know what I mean? Anything that could potentially, you already got COVID. You don't need pulling a back injury or, a hamstring or anything like that. Or get to a fight and then your back lock up once you're in a fight. We don't need any of that happening either. So, oh, snap. I don't know what the hell happened to something just happened. Okay, let's exit out of this. I don't know what the hell happened. Okay. Anyway, okay, guys. That's it. That's it for episode 12 of Straight Outta Content Podcast. We're changing it over to Straight Outta Content Podcast. You can still call it Agree to Disagree. Whenever I have Omar on here or George for UFC, we will talk about different fights and we will agree to disagree. But this podcast is Straight Outta Content Podcast, where we're going to talk about more than one subject. Different subjects as we move on, world subjects and stuff like that. I'll stay on sports right now, but for the next episode, episode 13, I might have some other subjects that I want to touch on. There's a lot of things going on in the world. I want everybody to stay safe. Please stay safe out there. Please mask up. Wear your mask in whatever city you're in. And you need anything made, make sure to contact us at Flash Custom Designs. We make everything in-house, all the merch. More merch coming, more content coming. Make sure you watch Straight Outta Content on YouTube. for all my different videos. Same thing with Flash Custom Designs. Just grow with us. That's all we're asking, is just to continue to grow with us. Please leave comments down below too. If you don't like anything that I said, I do respond to my comments as much as I can. So we can agree to disagree all day. You know, that's the beauty. We have to keep this boxing thing going. All right, guys, I'm starving. What time is it? It's 6:19. I'm starving. I'm headed out of here. You guys be safe. Straight Outta Content Podcast. Peace.